Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our competitive analysis and strategy class. In this session, we will work with a topic known as management indicators. Okay. So, in every decision that the company is trying to do, well, you must remember that we also need to making a quantitative performance, we need to know the results of our actions. Okay. So, the first thing that we have to go through is that in order to fulfill objective strategies, we'll definitely need to know or have an assurement of your indicators. Okay, which ones are correct or incorrect, or at least which ones are preferable? Well, that will depend on the type of strategy that you want to execute, and of course, the level of knowledge that the company owns at a specific moment. Okay, so we're gonna see a few concepts that can be misinterpreted or that can cause a confusion. It's important that when we're doing these indicators, or at least talking about this management of the control, definitely we can clarify to have better and well detailed results. Okay, so the first approach that we must have is actually to get into this question. No, are measure and control synonyms? Okay, this is something that has caused a lot of confusion. Sometimes people they use it indistinctively, okay, but we have to go in quite detail, okay, of what are the meaning of each one, and of course how do they complement each other, so we know how to work with each one. Okay, definitely there's a relationship between these two concepts, but we have to go through, okay, in order to check these two aspects. So the first one involves measure. Okay, measure is something that all companies will do in order to get a specific number or result, okay, or achievement. Okay, particularly measuring is something that we will have to define based on a scale. Okay, that scale must be established previously before you execute any strategy or objective. Okay, and that measure by itself, okay, will not define if something is right or wrong. Okay, you are the one that will define, for example, on a scale from 1 to 10, if 8 will be accepted for the company, or 9 is what we're looking for, or maybe at 10. Okay, you, okay, will define what is right and what is wrong, but the measure must be consistent and of course coherent. Okay, that's another important factor. When you are measuring something, well, just make sure that you're using the right tool to measure. Okay, so all this will involve an analysis of a performance. Then we have control. Okay, if you remember your management functions, okay, the process of planning, organizing, leading, controlling, well, you might recall that control is established as at the end of a phase. Okay, and what's the importance of control? Okay, that control will also implicate making the proper adjustments in order to have the expected results. Okay, another important factor is that control and measure by itself complement each other. Okay, in order to have control, I must measure. Okay, and that control will allow me to change in the future potential results. Okay, but of course that control, okay, must have different phases and different moments of evaluation. Okay, and of course once you have results, control will help us to guide the performance into a better result, kind of like a continuous improvement that we might have to go through. Okay, so that's in general the relationship between measure, control, and of course, why do we use measure and control at the end? Because remember that you're constantly with the aim of creating new products, improving your communication, to get more customers, okay, to make more connections with the ones that provide profits and earnings at the end, okay? But of course, we need to have these two aspects quite clear, okay? Because at the end, people will control and will measure, and they have to know, why are we doing this, okay? Another thing, okay, is that measure can help us to know is specifically how much, okay? When we're measuring, let's imagine that you got the chance to get the result that you were looking for, okay? We also need to know if we exceed the expectation, if we just meet the expectation, or we were way much lower than what was expected, okay? All these potential results need to be analyzed, and moreover, to have an analysis and a relationship of those results, those outcomes, okay? So as you can see here, control is more than just measure. Measure will give us the guideline, the stepping stone in order to make better changes, okay? And of course, all this matters at the end, improve value generation. At least what we're doing is with the aim of increasing our value in different formats. Could be based on profits, could be based on retaining more customers, or in improving our own strategies, okay? All the time we will have to go through this analysis, because all the time you're executing new and better strategies, okay? So maybe a strategy you applied 1 or 2 years ago by now is not longer effective. That's quite possible, because customers and markets change constantly. How are you going to do, okay, in case those matters affect you, to your company? And of course, as we were mentioning, kind of like as a collateral consequence, we have value generation, and a value generation will lead into profits and results, okay? But there always has to be this innovation involved, okay? And I'm not meaning just creating new products. It's also about improving the process, about increasing the channels, at least of communication, or could be of distribution, and also knowing more about the customer, personalizing many factors that we have seen that customers perceived as valuable, and up to a certain point is gonna create a difference and something that customers will be more than willing to pay at the end in order to get more profits. Another important fact that you don't have to forget is that having a happy customer will increase the customer lifetime value, okay? Remember that at the end, okay? This is not just a poetic thing, okay? Having and keeping a client definitely improves the profitability of the relations, okay? So this will be it for today. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions or doubts, I'll be more than happy to solve it via email or using Brightspace. Thank you very much and have an excellent day. Bye-bye.